Right. And the dogs just heard you somehow.
Hey everybody,
Spidey sense.
it's Monday. It's Always Bookin Comedy. Hope everybody's doing well. We got Zach Gilliam here from. Are you in Gypsum?
I'm in Eagle, Colorado.
We'll update that.
Yeah.
Zach's a music producer I met at a comedy show, and I think he's going to teach me some things about music production. You got a big event coming up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing the Eagle River Jamboree here in Eagle on August 7th through the 9th, actually.
Okay.
We're doing actually starting out with a welcome party down where we met at the Eagle River Brewing Company in Gypsum. Yeah.
Cool. Right on. So how many years has this event been going on? Is this a new event? Or?
This is first year. This is the inaugural year. If you're familiar with the area, we used to have the block party, Eagle Block Party, for years. It's a pretty big festival here in Eagle, and that dissipated. 2023 was the last year. So bringing the big stage back to Eagle.
Cool. So do you set up a stage in like downtown Eagle? You block off the street? Is that?
Yes. So it'll actually be over at the fairgrounds. So we've got 4 stages. A main stage out where they ride the bulls and everything. A side stage that's a Colorado artist exclusive stage over there. VIP lounge, and then a silent disco stage as well.
Fun. So let me ask some like literal basic questions. Like, where do these stages come from? Do you rent these stages? Do you own these stages? Do you build them out of plywood?
Yeah, so they're all different. The one stage is on site. It's built into the facility. And then the main stage and the side stage, those are rented from different companies. Well, a company, Mountain West Productions, out of Arvada, I think is right. And then we build the silent disco stage.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. So let's dig into that a little bit. So I don't really care about the one that's there all the time. The one that comes from Arvada, that's like the Denver area. Does it come up in like a semi-trailer? Like how big is this?
Yeah. So it's a 33 foot. And it's a 33-foot Apex XL is what it's called. And it you pull behind a truck, and it's a big, huge trailer that just folds out and pops up.
Like transforms into
everything you want, so and they go up probably 20 feet if I were guessing.
Now, do you and your staff assemble it, or is that part of the rental that they build it out?
Yeah, so for the stage rising part, we just give them loaders, so to help their crew out. They're ultimately responsible for it, and then we bring people in to kind of help that process move faster because we're in a time crunch. Just to because you have to get the way it works in the music world is the headliner sound checks first. Even though they're last, they sound check early in the morning or what have you, and then follows on by the band that supports them, and then finally you kind of do a quick sound check for the band in front of them.
Okay, cool. And now this one that you're building, have you built it before? Do you like tear it apart and reassemble it kind of thing? And by the way, real quick, I just want to, there's some people watching online. Hello, everybody's watching online. I'm a comedian. This is a music producer. If you have any questions about that kind of stuff, we'll answer them live. Just type them into Twitch or YouTube, whatever. Okay.
Awesome. Sweet.
So how do you build that?
So we built these essentially plywood carpeted 4x8 pieces, and then we just add legs. So depending on the event, it might be like an 8-inch leg, or it might be an 18-inch leg. And then you could just kind of replace those.
Now, are you like a carpenter? Or are you pretty handy yourself?
Yeah, I'm not a carpenter, but I did grow up with my stepfather was. So we built everything from the backyard fence to Christmas presents to, you name it. So I'm relatively handy, but definitely not as a profession.
Is that an important part of being a big concert event producer? Being able to build stuff?
in a different sense, being able to build a vision, right? Is
Okay.
where I would maybe see it. Like, when you're talking multiple days, 20 plus bands,
Wow.
thousands of attendees, and really building this, it, but carpentry, not so much. I mean, it's a plus,
Okay.
but this stage is just like one tiny component to a
Right.
giant thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say you don't really need that in the production world.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then I got more questions about these stages. So
yeah,
the
please.
lights and like speakers are important. Let's start with the one that
Yeah,
comes on the truck. Does it, when
yeah.
it transforms, does it have like the trusses and the speakers and lights built in, or is that something
So
separate?
yeah, trusses, those are on the trailer.
Okay.
Everything else has to be added. So
Okay. And do you rent
sometimes
all
we'll.
that stuff as well?
It depends
Or
on the event. It depends on
okay.
the event. Right now, our in-house sound equipment that we have is we'll do about 1,200 people
Okay.
of an
Cool.
outdoor
That's big.
venue, which is good. But we brought in some heavy loads for this one, so beefed up the sound system. So we'll toss that system on the VIP stage, which is
Okay.
a smaller ordeal. But
Okay.
yeah, bringing in the production and lights for this, and like I said, there's so many moving components in this that if you're able to outsource a reliable, trustworthy partner
Hmm.
in whatever it might be, bar sales or merchandise or production, it's just helpful for your team and overall what you're doing.
Yeah. So how big is your team? Like how many people are on staff or
Oh,
volunteers or whatever?
yeah. Well, our volunteer sheet right now is just got up to 30.
Whoa.
30 for this event, and we're looking for more. So if you're out there and listening and interested,
Where do
you
they
can
fly, where do
trade.
they go
Yeah,
to sign up
yeah.
or whatever?
Just eagleriverjamboree.com,
Okay.
and you can trade volunteer shifts for a festival, a weekend ticket to everything.
Okay.
So I believe it's 2 4-hour shifts throughout the weekend, and you get a festival ticket. Um,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely. So we've got that. Our in-house team is um I would say about 15 people.
Okay. That's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
we've got sponsor leads, ops. Our ops team is the biggest. Volunteer
Okay,
coordinators.
this is a question near and dear to my heart because I just finished Vail Comedy Festival.
Yeah,
Do you guys have walkie-talkies?
we do. You gotta
Okay. Do you
gotta
own
have
them
them.
or do you rent them? And what kind do you have? And yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk.
great question. So, fortunately, in our team, our volunteer coordinator, she's also the head for the ice castles. If you're familiar,
Mm,
the ice castles is this. It's all around North America. It even goes into Canada, but we have one here in Frisco, Colorado.
oh, I think I've
In the
driven
win,
by
it,
it.
yeah, yeah, it was in Silverthorne last year, and
Yeah.
they
Okay. I
basically
know.
build these huge ice
Yeah, it's
sculptures in the
cool.
winter, and it's got
Hmm.
slides and DJs and a bar and all this stuff. Super
Sweet.
cool. She's on our staff as volunteer coordinator and bringing in the radios as
Nice.
a
Do,
nice contribution.
do you know what kind they are?
I don't,
You don't?
but
Okay.
they
All right.
are they are in the garage.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe
Yeah,
afterwards. We'll chat a
yeah,
little bit
yeah,
afterwards. I'll
yeah,
ask you.
yeah.
I just at the event we had Motorola's and they
Mm,
were I'm not gonna remember the model number, but they're
yep,
like 4-watt UHF. They work
yep,
like a mile,
yep.
but not necessarily through walls. So like
Sure.
if you're in like a basement and then
Yeah.
maybe you're only getting like half a mile, but they work pretty well. Do you guys use the
Yep.
like shoulder
Bad
things?
speaker. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it's crucial when you've got like hundreds or even thousands of people and you're trying to communicate a medical emergency, or maybe we've got gear that a guitar amp broke over here and we need a replacement. You can't expect to have a phone call go through A lot of times, things just get tricky with that. And so you really need to have like direct communication between like the head points in all of these different areas. So, yeah, that's a huge one.
So you said you have 20 bands. Where
Yeah.
do they like come with their own van and sleep in a van, or do you get in hotel
Yeah.
rooms? Because there's not a ton of
Yeah.
infrastructure in Eagle
Yep.
for that.
Correct. Absolutely. So, it's definitely not a one size fits all. Um, I actually have one of these right here,
Okay,
with all
yeah,
our
let's
bands
take
out
a
here.
look.
So,
Oh, I've
so
seen Robert
they
Randolph. He's the
oh,
slide guy,
he's great.
right?
He's the
Yeah, he
slide
rules.
guy. He's got some
Yeah.
Grammys. He's pretty awesome. But it depends. In the music world, in concerts, we consider artists either routed or a fly-in date, which is self-explanatory. They're either routing on a tour or
Mhm.
they have to fly in for this. So
Yeah.
we've got a mixture of those. It's definitely preferable to catch someone who's routed because it's just more affordable from an expense standpoint,
Yeah,
right? No
absolutely.
flights, additional nights of hotels,
You gotta
ground
rent all the equipment
transportation.
for them probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the things in the festival world you do, actually, just period.
Okay.
You try and do as much backline as possible so that changeover's fast. So if we can have bass amps up there that are of high quality and of standards, been everyone, these different people can use, then we'll keep one bass amp up, and it keeps from having to bring
Yeah.
more back and forth.
But like
So
the guitar, like the actual instruments, those are probably band specific, right?
yeah, unless you're a keyboardist,
Oh, okay.
and drummers, some of them are specific on what they want. They want a Hammond B3. So, you know,
Okay.
you need a Hammond B3 with a Leslie.
Yeah,
But
I
a
prefer a
guitar,
Roland myself.
right. The guitar players will typically always bring their own guitars.
Okay.
And the back line is
Well,
most
sometimes
people.
they won't ever rent them locally. Like if they're flying in, they'll ship
Guitars,
in their guitars.
seldomly,
Okay.
seldomly.
Interesting.
Guitar players are
So how do they get them there? Like, do they send them FedEx or do they come on the
uh,
plane like as checked luggage?
strap them on the back,
No way.
and
Okay.
it's probably just my Instagram feed, but I'm always seeing like
Okay.
those feeds from like Southwest Airlines or an airline of some sort, just like tossing guitars,
Yes, of course.
in the baggage. So they like to fly with them on the plane, not underneath,
Yeah.
typically. And your guitar players and bass players typically bring their own
Yeah. But they don't
instruments,
bring
and
like
every
3 or 4? Like when I go to a big concert, they're changing the guitar like
right,
every song
right.
practically.
Typically, those bands are routed, right? So they're
Okay. Yeah,
routed.
yeah,
So
sure. They got a
in
semi
on their
trailer full of
exactly,
guitars.
exactly. They've got a whole guitar case that slides in with all their guitars. It depends on the level of artist, but even back to lodging, some of these artists, they want to camp. They want to be in
Oh,
the
no
camping
way.
for the
Cool.
festival. So
Okay.
some of them are going to bring the smaller guys will bring tents and their own RV, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We do provide lodging for the majority of the higher tier artists. So um, you get we can fit some of them at the Best Western Plus here in Eagle, and
Okay.
then we send the rest up to Edwards, up to
Best
the
Western Plus is
Riverwalk.
great. I use it during Mountain Fresh Comedy Festival. So shout out
It,
to those
it
folks.
it it really is. The plus is a big. I've noticed the plus is a big difference.
I haven't
Best
stayed in
Western
that one
Plus.
personally, but going around the country, like I just stayed in one in somewhere in, I think it was Ogallala, Nebraska. And it was like one of the nicest hotels I've stayed in years. And it was a Best Western Plus. They just renovated it. It was
Yeah,
so nice.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
that plus is important.
it,
Uh,
it, it it's pretty nice. We may or may not sneak in there to go to hot tub every now
yes,
and then.
sure.
Definitely not going to put that out
We
there.
got a regular viewer from North Carolina who just posted no brown M&Ms. I'm not quite sure what that means. Might be a comment about riders. I have
No.
no idea. Uh, okay.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Artists are notorious for like putting difficult, challenging things in riders.
sure.
And of course, if you're not familiar, a rider is essentially you've got a tech rider and a hospitality rider. That includes hey, we need 6 king rooms at a 4-star hotel, and we want lemonade and 2 Cliff bars and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and it goes on and on. Some of them are 2 pages,
Yeah. That's
just
crazy. Do you
pretty
have somebody who
intense.
that's their job to make sure the riders are?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's our yep, our artist liaison, Connor Williams. He's actually a trumpet player up here in the high country. Plays around, but he's like, you need a type A person
Okay. What other
locked
roles
in on
are there?
who's locked in on details.
Yeah. So walk me. So you
Uh-oh.
mentioned the like volunteer coordinator, and now we got the artist relation person. What else? Who else is on the team? Did we lose you, Zach? We got a little internet hiccup here. Did you hear my question?
Uh-oh.
My question was like, what are your other major team members? Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear me.
Yeah.
Can you? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you now.
Cool.
I can hear you now. So it was like freezing for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a volunteer coordinator. We've got marketing lead,
Okay.
a box office lead,
Oh, I wanted to
artist
ask that. Let's
relations.
pause on that for a second. So you got
Yeah.
thousands of
Yeah.
attendees. Do they buy
Yeah.
tickets? Is it free? How do they get access in?
Yeah. Absolutely. You buy tickets. You can buy single day or a weekend pass. And schedules are listed online. Everything you can find is on eagleriverjamboree.com.
Okay.
And if you want to camp, there's camping passes available. Um, and yeah, so when you start to look in the world of music festivals, we were very intentional about out meeting a price point that was like super friendly from a user.
Okay.
These festivals are huge in terms of raking in cost expenses.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about production and speakers and stages, and
Yeah.
you have all of those, all your security personnel, all of your production personnel, all those people need lodging and meals, and you have to um, you got to feed them, and you got to house them, and bring them up here. But that list kind of goes on. But we feel like we did a really good job here at 140 for the whole weekend, which is, it's hard to find out there,
That's great.
if you start looking.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
incredible. So now does the person like get something on their phone and when they need access, they like put it on a little
yeah,
scanner or like how does
yeah,
the
yeah,
access work?
yeah. So whenever you log in or purchase, it'll send you a confirmation email that has barcode or QR deal. And as you're coming
Mhm.
into the gates, we have scanner people there who just scan you and put a wristband on you, and in you go.
Nice. And then once
Yeah,
you have the wristband, you can just use the wristband to get in the future?
that is correct. Yeah, you can come and go as much as you want. You can, meet some friends for dinner, come back late night, whatever you want to do. I find a lot of the families we're stoked on it so they can drop the kids off, come back for the later evening sets and stuff like that.
Right. Okay, so I kind of interrupted you. You were going through some of the
Sure.
major roles, and
Oh yeah,
in that
yeah.
explanation, you mentioned security. That's like a whole
Yep.
thing.
Security is a whole thing. We've got 15-ish, give or take, guards. We got to have overnight guards, stage guards. We have roamers who go around, and of course, box office and entrance. You got to catch that heavily, and we do wanding. Safety is really the most important part in the whole festival. When you're dealing with a big crowd, we need to make sure that we have EMTs on site, that there's a place if um, whatever it is, it
Is
could
it
be a fight or whatever, dehydration, little too much acid, whatever,
sure, yeah. How do you coordinate with police and like fire and
Mhm.
stuff? Do you have like meetings ahead of time? Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to put together what we call an emergency action plan,
Okay.
to submit to all of these, the paramedics, fire, and then police are involved in that as well. And so we run through with our team, with our staff, all of our leads, and of course those departments I just mentioned. We run through, active shooter, you run through tornado, you run through any emergency thing that you can really think of, missing child. You just run through what are the protocols, what are the procedures. We want to be prepared in the event if any of that happens. And that's what the radios come
Yeah, I
in
was just
right
going to
there.
ask that. How does that do they bridge into your walkie-talkies, and can you communicate with them?
Absolutely.
Or okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have, with such a big team that I'm just starting on there is, you have individual channels for different things.
Okay.
Production has its own channel,
Got it.
medical has its own channel, box office, different things like that. And then we have a main festival line, and that's where the emergencies might come in.
Okay.
Anything that has to happen right now that everyone needs to know about will come in on that channel.
Okay. And you'd stay
Yeah.
on that the majority of the time and then click over to something else if
Yep. Yeah. So, I'll be on. I'm the director of the entire event, so uh, I'm really in charge of all of it. So,
okay.
if our box office needs something, they're gonna go to main channel,
Okay.
and they'll say box office to Zach. We jump on. We might take that conversation to the box office channel,
Okay.
and then communicate whatever we need there.
Incredible. How many
Yeah.
walkie-talkies are we talking here?
We have 30, but only
Amazing.
our only. Yeah, I mean, we'll have our leads, and then security personnel. We'll equip them with radios as well, medical.
Do you ever use the like Secret Service ear thing, or you always use the
We've got them.
yeah.
Most people don't prefer them.
Okay.
It's just I found it's a little harder to hear
We
when there's like huge speakers going
Yes,
and
it's
stuff.
totally different at a concert. At the comedy events, we preferred the in-ear things because if you had the speakers on,
Yeah,
it
you
interrupts
don't
the
need that.
comedy show.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need that. Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny, Mark. I was thinking, as just right before we got on here, I went to Bonnaroo for many, many years,
I've
which I
been. I
believe
went
that
once
that,
and
that was this
good
weekend.
Lord. Oh, was it really?
Well, there was, something that was cool that Bonnaroo did that had my brain just bouncing off right before this call was they had a comedy tent,
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
they brought in comedians just for
Yeah,
that comedy tent, and it was cool. It was scheduled just like bands were.
yeah.
And people come in, and everything's just right there in that tent. I thought
Yeah,
that
and
was
it had air
awesome.
conditioning. That's the main
Yeah.
reason people wanted to
Yep.
go to it.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'm like, man, what a cool concept, and you really don't see that often. Where music festivals, there's music festivals, there's comedy festivals, but
Sure.
typically I don't see them as much
Yeah, you know
intertwined.
who does
When
that is Telluride. I don't know exactly what it's
oh
called, but it's a blues thing. I don't know if it's
yeah,
Blues and Brews because that's what Beaver Creek has, but a
right.
Telluride blues
I think
something.
it's the blues. Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
they have comedians there
That's
every year,
awesome.
and
Well, I think
they
it's
fly
I think
in
it's great.
comics and yeah. We should definitely when we. I mean, we could talk about it now.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
figure it
Yeah.
out. I don't know if it's for this year or next year.
Yeah.
We could definitely make that happen.
Absolutely. We need to bring some comedy aspect to it,
That'd
without a
be
doubt.
rad. I'd love that.
Yeah.
And I know I have a
Absolutely.
lot of comedy friends who are like big into music. Like I
Sure.
have some comedy friends who went to Bonnaroo every year for like 10 straight years. They
Oh
love
yeah.
Bonnaroo. I have some other ones
Yeah.
that like tour with Fish and they love,
Sure.
so everybody's got like a different angle. So there's some comics that I could bring up that would also
Yeah.
really appreciate like what you've built and put together.
Totally.
And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
we
fun.
we need I think we need a comedy tent next year.
Yeah,
I'm
that
hearing
would
it.
be
I'm
yeah,
hearing I'm
that'd be really fun.
manifesting.
Okay, let's make it happen. Let it will be done.
Yeah.
What do you worry about? What are some of your concerns? Like weather, rain? Like what are some of the
Yeah.
things that could go squirrely on you?
Well, yeah, up here in the mountains, drought is a big thing, and so fire season is a huge,
Mm,
huge thing. And we've seen this over the years in California, really all over, where fires can really just cause mass devastation. It's pretty dry. It gets warmer with less precipitation the further we go into summer. So high winds and fires are typically pretty. We have to be very mindful of. You have 50-mile-an-hour gusts come in, you got to be mindful. We've got speakers hanging and stages up, and and if it gets gnarly enough, it'll snap, a stage or metal, so you keep an eye on the weather. It's not something we can change. And so we know that, and
Do you have like
keep it on our mind.
a weather station, or do you just use public information? Like, do you bring in your
Yeah,
own wind meter?
no, I don't, at all. We just kind of monitor it. I use, um, Weather Underground,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's
sure.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
typically good. But who's the most particular about weather are the sound guys. So the audio engineers, I was doing a festival 2 years ago, and policy was 10 miles. Once, if lightning comes within 10 miles, you got to shut it down.
Uh,
Um, you know, safety for everybody, and
yeah,
then you got to wait X amount of minutes from the last lightning strike. And so
yeah,
I know there's apps that will like tell you when that is and whatnot. And the audio engineers are more in tune to that
yeah.
aspect.
They'll let you know.
Um,
They'll get on
yeah,
the
we're
walkie-talkie.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. We're a rain or shine event, man.
Oh, okay.
I was born and raised in Memphis, and we had this festival. It was Bill Street Music Festival, which was part of Memphis in May. We called it Memphis in Mud,
Okay.
because it just, I mean, spring showers all the time,
Okay.
and it was just a mud pit. But the people, we everyone embraced it. You
Sure.
bring in ponchos, you bring in rain jackets, and then you got people who are just like, fuck it, and they're
Yeah.
jumping in the mud and like just covered. And so uh, I hope that our attendees, that have that festival spirit amongst them and don't mind a little mud on the boots. Although it's very unlikely. It's like I said, it's so dry up here.
Yeah,
Rain
sure.
is typically the least of our worries, but it
Yeah.
happens.
What,
So
how do you, we only got a couple more minutes,
sure.
and I got a million questions, but one of them is, like, Eagle's a small town. How do you prep the local businesses? Like what's your biggest concern there? Like if you, how many attendees are you hoping for roughly? You said 1,000.
2,500 is ideal.
Okay, awesome.
Here,
So
it's the
2,500
first year.
people,
Yeah,
like, where do they get breakfast? 25,
yeah,
like, if 2,500 people showed up at Moe's for lunch, like, it's gonna get overrun. Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
how do you
absolutely.
handle that?
Well, it's really up to each business owner.
Okay.
We used to have the block party here, which would run like 7,000 people throughout the weekend.
Holy cow.
And they did that on Broadway in Eagle. Some
Yeah.
business owners were overwhelmed and not happy.
Okay. Sure.
Others were really stoked.
Okay.
It's I have
You
figured
bring
out, you
in,
cannot
like,
please.
carnival style food vendors, like food
Yeah,
truck
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So we've got food vendors during festival hours, which
Okay.
is 8 hours for both days. So
Okay.
the festival's open for 8 hours. So likely a lot of people will choose from them. We've got a cool
Okay.
lineup, different food vendors on site. But yeah, we put it out. We've got banners. We're on the highway signs, digital, social media marketing. We're in the newspapers. We're in the magazines. We've put the word out there,
Sure.
that it's happening. So, yeah, as a business owner, I would suggest adapting.
Yeah.
Maybe you offer some sort of to go burritos,
Yeah.
or
Something quick.
turn to yeah, something quick where you can prep maybe a little earlier, come in a little earlier that day, and really try and take advantage of that many people coming to a town of like, we're like 7,000, 7,500 people
Sure.
up in Eagle. So, try and take advantage of that opportunity. That's in my mind, one of the big benefits is the economic benefit of bringing
Yeah.
something like this. Is we want the brewery to win. We want people to visit it. We want people to go check out Broadway and go through the shops. Go
Yeah.
check out the breakfast spot. Go out there and see what Eagle has to offer. It would be my guess that we will likely have some new residents after this festival. They're going to
Huh.
come up and say, "Man, this is awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
there's mountain biking, fly fishing. Look at the mountains." And they're going to say, "I got to get the
Yeah. Do you have a
stew
real
out of
estate
Denver."
sponsor?
We do. We do.
Nice. You
Absolutely.
wanna shout them out real quick?
Slifer Smith in Frampton. Do you know who it is? Shout out.
There you go. Oh, that's the big dog. Look at you.
That's a big dog. Nice. Yeah, that's a big dog. They sponsored our VIP lounge this year, which honestly, if you're going to go, whoever's out there, you got to check out the VIP. It's AC. It is in the air conditioning in the middle of the summer.
Too?
Oh yeah, they got their own bathrooms.
Nice.
They got preferred main stage area up front, and then in the grandstands they have their own boxes.
Remind me when this is, Eagle River Jamboree?
August 7th, 8th, and 9th.
7th, 8th. I'm in New York City. What a bummer. I would love this. I would love to go to this. Next year. I'm telling you, Mark. We got to get it on the calendar. All right, we got to land this plane. How do people find you? How do people find Eagle River Jamboree? This was a great episode.
Yeah,
this is totally
absolutely, man.
From what I usually do, but I got a lot out of it.
Okay. Well, what do you got? To learn more about the festival, which we've talked about mostly, here's Eagle River Jamboree on the socials, eagleriverjamboree.com. You can find more information there. If you're ever doing events in Colorado or the Colorado High Country, we do a lot of backline AV work. We have a whole talent roster full of musicians and bands, DJs, etc.
What's the name of your company?
It's called Vail Valley Entertainment.
Okay.
And that's up here. If you like outdoors things and hunting, fishing, and music, I'm zach.gilliam on Instagram. You can follow around there, and appreciate you having me today.
Rad. Cool. Stick around for a second. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And real quick, Thursday, October 8th, 2026, we will be at Eagle River Brewing. Vail Comedy Show will be with Mountain Fresh Comedy Festival. You can get tickets at vailcomedyshow.com right now. They just went online this week, or comedyticketing.com. All right, Zach, thanks a lot.
Nice.
We'll see everybody next Monday.